Okay, thank you so much for coming to the workshop today, Think Like an Employer. It is presented by the Escoffier Career Services team. My name is Annette Martinez-Smith, and I want to welcome you to today's workshop. So basically, the objective to today's workshop is basically demonstrating the criticality of using the employer's perspective in your communications, in your resume, your job applications, and your interviews, and to improve your ability to really convey your value to an employer in the industry, which really expresses what your interest is, what your skills are, and then matching them up with the language that the employer speaks. And basically, it's about showing your value and making sure that that value is aligned with what's important to the employer. So that is what the purpose is of our workshop today. Definitely the agenda is maximizing that communication, what's important to that employers, and matching what employers want with what you offer. This is something that's very, very important, especially when you're new to an industry or when you're a career changer. And just by a show of hands or your answer in the chat, is there anyone here that's a career changer? Or anyone here that's new to the industry? Okay, awesome. Okay, really good. So we have a career changer here. Great. And then you can be continuing in the industry as well, wanting to basically move up in your career. That's definitely what going to school will help you, and these workshops will help you hone in things a lot better. The purpose is really making wise use of your time when you're in front of that employer, which is very, very important. Awesome. So we have someone that is starting off and new to the industry. Very, very good. Okay, great. Anybody that's just coming into the workshop, just make sure that you put your first and last name in the chat. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So basically, we're going to talk about now the communication gap that tends to occur, and this is pretty typical in the industry, but it tends to occur here, and right here it's illustrated for you. Sometimes, as far as on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to be seeing what you need as the applicant, and sometimes we have these limitations. We have these boundaries, and when we're job seeking, when we're new to a career, when we're just seeking out another opportunity. So on the left side, it's actually showing what's in the mind of the applicant. That's us when we're job seeking. Oh, you know, I have a limited schedule. I have limited hours a week that I can work, or, you know, I just really need to practice my skills and get better at them. And maybe I have an idea as to how much money I need to make per hour or per week. So those are the types of things that are going through our mind as an applicant. Now, let's look on the right side. What's illustrated on the right side is what is happening in the mind of an employer who needs to add to their kitchen staff. I need full availability. I have so many hours that I'm open. I need to make sure that my staffing is correct to cover all those hours. Maybe I'm open 7 days a week. I need people that are going to be dependable and reliable. So when I put them on schedule, they're going to show up. I need people who are going to be able to understand safety and sanitation, are going to be able to understand setting up and breaking down a station. And I need people to understand that cost is very important to me. And I need them to make sure that they take care of the food as if they paid for it. So there's no waste in the kitchen. So it's that type of mindset that's actually going through the employer's head. You can see now, just illustrated in front of you, that there is this communication gap that's happening here. And so we see that This person on the left, the applicant, is not really stating anything that's important to the employer, and the employer is not really stating anything that's important to the applicant. And that's okay. We're just starting out, and so we want to make sure that we're going to close this communication gap. And so there's going to be some friendly reminders here. If you don't know this or you know this already, this is going to be a good reminder for you going out on your site visits, going out, filling out applications and following up on them, that you're going to make the best use of your time in front of this employer. Okay, so changing our communication focus to include more employer speak now is illustrated. We're closing the gap a little bit for you here. So now, as far as on the left side, you're going to see the applicant is now trying to use more of the employer's frame of reference. Now this applicant is getting it. It's getting the point. So if we see on the left-hand side, this applicant is now stating what they can do. I want you all to take note of this, because we all have things. Sometimes it's easier just to start off when we're job seeking, or when we're a career changer, when we're trying to continue our career. Sometimes it's easy to state when we're in this job seeking mode, it's like, what I can't do. It's easy to do that. I want to refocus you, and now you're going to be focused on what you can do. Okay, we all have limitations, but I want you to focus on what you can do. So now if we look at the left-hand side, now we see the applicant is saying, but what can I do? Oh, I'm available 7 days a week. Maybe that's not us. Maybe I'm available 3 days a week. I'm highly dependable though. I show up on time. I don't call out. I'm responsible. I'm mature. I'm confident. My motto is, I understand sanitation. I understand that I'm organized and I clean as I go. This is what I know how to do. Food costs, very important. I learned this in school, or I learned this in a past job, that I'm not going to be wasteful in the kitchen. And so that's something that's very important. Now we see, as an applicant, we see them getting into the minds of the employer of what's important to that employer. Now, when we look at what the employer is on the right-hand side, now we understand how the employer is processing this information. This applicant is getting closer to that employer speak, meaning closer to verbalizing, communicating what they can do, and that aligns with what's important to the employer. That equals value. It doesn't matter how much experience you have, it is value in the eyes of that employer. Here we see on the right-hand side how the employer is processing that message. Oh, okay, the person said they can work 3 days a week, 4 days a week. I see that that person is willing to work. That person is showing a willingness to work. Person is saying that they're highly dependable, highly responsible. That employer is translating that message. Okay, this person's not going to call out. When this person is scheduled to work, they're going to work. And when the applicant says, oh, I clean as I go, or I take sanitation and regulations I implement that, I execute that, that employer is saying, great. This is going to reduce the training time because this person is coachable. This person implements and executes on what they learn. So that's awesome. Now, food costs being very important as an applicant, you verbalizing that, great. That employer is going, oh, okay, great. They take it as if they're paying for this product. I like that. That's what's important. And now we see this communication gap getting closer. It's not all about us in the job seeking process. It's not all about, I need daycare. I can only work so many days a week. I need so much money per hour. Yes, we're going to take care of those things because those are our personal things. But notice I said a key word. Those are personal things that we need to take care of as an applicant, not important to the employer. What's important to the employer is business. And that's what we are going to convey to employers that we speak with in person, and obviously in writing as well. So we're going to get into that in just a little bit. Okay. Awesome. Communication connection. Yes, that's where we're headed. Don't you love these graphics? Okay. So now we're going to get into what I mentioned a little earlier. We're going to mention business metrics. Business metrics is something that we love. But before I get into the business metrics, and you can see this on your screen, okay, but let me ask you this. You can type this in the chat if you want, or you can speak up, whatever is important, whatever you want to do. But I want you to think about this and answer it if you think you know the answer. What is the most important thing or the most important person in the industry that we're in, called the culinary or pastry arts industry? What is the most important thing? Can anyone take a guess? Any brave person want to take a guess? Be brave. It's okay. We're all friends here. Everett! Awesome! Wonderful! Yes, you are right. It is the customer. It is the guest. And that is something that I want you guys to really understand. Sometimes when I ask this, guys, it is really funny because I get a lot of different answers. So you all are on top of it. You all are A. You get bonus points for this. But yes, it is the customer. The customer is the most important thing in the industry. And this is what you guys are showing when you understand what's important to the employer. And really, even in writing, you're conveying this with your marketing documents. What do I mean by marketing documents? I mean cover letter, resume, sample portfolio, maybe a letter of interest of, you know, an externship or volunteer opportunity. All of that is your marketing documents. And especially when you're face to face and you're doing site visits and you're having these conversations, you are putting forth that you understand that the customer is the most important person in this industry. All of this business metrics and everything we're talking about revolves around the number one person is the customer. That's where our paychecks come from. That's where our gross margins come from. That's what drives our processes in the back. And so all of the business metrics here are important to the employers. Increasing sales. Two things that really you can bring out in writing or in person that all businesses that are important for businesses is that you can contribute to the profit of that business. So you can make them money and you can save them money. Two things: make them money, save them money. Those two things in a nutshell is business metrics. That's what all of this comes down to. Increasing sales, decreasing costs, reducing waste, improve throughput. That's the processes that happen in back of the house. Minimizing that turnover, improving teamwork, enhancing that consistency, maximizing the customer satisfaction, yes, all day, minimizing overtime. All of that is two categories of making money and saving money for businesses. That's what's truly important. And so we love that when you learn how to really show value and that you understand that, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be great. Now let's talk about how you can show value in your skills. When you're new to an industry, when you are a career changer, or you've worked in the industry and you're actually going to be moving towards promotions and everything like that, really developing your career, it's always good to be able to understand and to focus on your hard skills. What do I know how to do that's completely related to the job duties that I'm going for? Well, we're talking about this. It's right in front of us. Hard skills, knife skills, cooking techniques, equipment ID, kitchen ID, maybe recipe scaling and volume, decorating, sanitation, safety, product ID, baking techniques, things like that. For my pastry people, you know, maybe some decorating mediums, glazes, buttercream, fondant, icing, frostings, all of that, working with chocolate, sugars, all of that. But when it comes to just the basics, you want to know and focus in and be confident in your skills. You're coming to school, you're being classically trained in the basics. You're learning just from point A to point Z, what are the basics? Am I focused on that? Have I practiced that? Do I know how to verbalize that? Do I know how to communicate that? That's going to be very important for you. So you want to be able to be confident in that skill set that you have. Practice makes perfect, so we know that you're practicing. No one's going to put you in charge of a kitchen when you're new, so you don't have to worry about that. You just want to be focused on the basics. And honestly, guys, I'll tell you this. For those of you that are in the industry, you know this, that every single kitchen is the same. The basics are the same. It doesn't matter if it's a 5-star Michelin or if it's a mom and pop down the street. It's the same. The basics don't change. So the more that you can hone in and get really familiar, focused, and confident on the basics, you're going to be great. You're going to be just fine. It's going to be good for you, because my most successful students and graduates are the ones that can communicate and be confident in their skill set. And I will tell you that we're going to go into now soft skills. These are just as important as the hard skills as well. So what are some of the soft skills? When we talk about soft skills, we're talking about transferable skills. That comes from the fact that if you don't come from this industry, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You can still be successful. I've done this for over 7 years, and I've seen what successful students and graduates do, what they do to get to where they want to be. Transferable skills are very, very valuable, and it comes from transferring skills from maybe another industry into this industry. So what's important that you may be doing in another industry or right now in a job outside the industry, it's going to be valuable in the industry. You just have to pick out which skills they are, and we call them soft skills, transferable skills. You're looking at some of them right here on the slide. Open to criticism, attention to detail, maybe you have really good effective communication, maybe you're a leader in what you do, you're a role model, you're a trainer, you make decisions and you're decisive under pressure. Maybe you can work in a fast pace. There are a lot of businesses where you have to work at a fast pace. That's great. Maybe having commitment, that you really can commit to something and be able to follow through. Really important. Customer service is something that is highly valued because we have a lot of, especially in the culinary world and pastry world, we have a lot of open kitchen concepts. And so being customer focused and guest oriented is really important too. So for my people that work in retail and all these other types of jobs, or customer service or call centers or sales, things like that, those are very, very good industries, very good transferable skills. So be focused on that. Know what your soft skills are, because they're very valuable. They transfer over into this industry very nicely. And in externship, on the timesheet, on the digital timesheet that you'll have, there will be an evaluation, a very short evaluation that your supervisor will actually click on, rating you on a scale of 1 to 5 on where you fall in the areas of hard skills and soft skills. So you'll notice here the soft skills are professionalism, sociability, how you get along with others, time management, are you able to complete things on time and work in a fast pace, being accurate, your work ethic, and your reliability. All of these things are on the soft skill side. Those are things that schools can't teach you. So they are very valuable. You have to come with knowing all of that. And I have complete faith in all of you that you do, because you've come through this school. Going to online school, you have to have a lot of soft skills with you because you're self-directed, you're dedicated, you're self-disciplined, you're focused, and you know how to get things done on time. Because in the online world, you're not going to a class in person. And so it does take quite a lot of discipline. So the fact that you guys are here and doing well, you're doing great. So that's going to be great. Now, this is something that I want to bring out to you. Where can you find what's important to the employer? Job posting. That is very important. So this job description, this job posting, it's right here. It's very important to pay close attention to that job posting. It has been put together by analyzing the position and the role that they're hiring for, okay? So that's where we're gonna find our employer wish list. Okay, so we're gonna take a couple of different job postings that are pretty general, pretty generic, that we see a lot in the industry. One is from Sodexo, it's an international food company, and they this posting is for a food service worker. Okay, so the general responsibilities here, what you see highlighted in red is going to be the hard skills. What you see highlighted in green is going to be the soft skills. So that's something that can help you to determine, is it hard skills or is it soft skills that I'm looking at. So this is going to help you. It's going to help you develop maybe a cover letter. It's going to help you as you go through the application. It's going to help you as you go through the interview process. This is what is important to the employer. Guess what I'm going to focus on? What is important to the employer in red. So as you see in red, you'll see the hard skills there. Reading recipes, weighing, measuring, mixing, washing, peeling, all of that kind of stuff, properly storing food, FIFO, keeping records, following regulations, basic cooking, and obviously safety and sanitation. What are the soft skills that they're interested in? Well, that's in green. Positive attitude, effective communicator, being professional, adapting to changing priorities, coachable, being open to learning and training, having a high standard for yourself, for your work area, being flexible, and being able to work different shifts. So those are the soft skills that we're looking at here. Very important, because this is giving you an idea as to how you can communicate going through that application and interview process with the employer. All right, we're gonna look at pastry cook job at Roy's. So we have in green, we have the soft skills: attention to detail, creativity, organization and leadership, and professional knowledge. Great. Now we see in red what the hard skills are. So for doing the job, sanitation, food prep, baking techniques, knowledge of ingredients, and a certificate in culinary arts or pastry or baking, that type of thing. So those are the things that are the hard skills. So now we're getting a good idea that if I'm going to go for this position, I'm going to make sure that I hit on these points when I'm preparing my marketing documents, when I'm filling out the application, and when I'm in the interview, even doing a pre-screen over the phone. Being able to bring out these things that I see on that job posting, it's going to bode very, very well, because those are the things that they're looking for. These are the keywords they're looking for in conversations and in writing. Okay, so how do we uncover our own skills when it comes to what employers want, what they value, so that we can show them our value? Well, we have a little bit of a cheat sheet, a little worksheet for you, and it's going to ask you some questions. And I want you to take this. I'm going to email each of you. I want you to take this, and I want you to be able to really think about it and write down what your answers are, because this is going to help you identify where you have value and where you can bring out value when you talk to employers, whether that be on an application, whether that be developing your marketing documents or on an interview. So some of these questions are highlighted here for you that you're going to find on the worksheet. Is what were your performance goals? What skills did you use to meet your performance goals or exceed them? What are you known for at your job? And if you weren't at your job, if you were gone or missing an action at your job and you weren't there, is there anything that would fall apart? How did you become the first, the best, or the most effective in any particular function that you do on your job? How do you regularly meet your timelines on the job that you do now? And if you messed up, how was the business effective? More importantly, I would think, how do you recover from a mistake? I think that's really, really important for you to focus on, especially when it comes to the interview process and the stories that you want to tell, your experiences. So this is it's very simple, but I want you to give it some thought because it's going to help you focus on your skills. When you can have that listing in front of you and write out things, that will keep you focused so that you'll know what to say. And again, we're making the most of our time when we're in front of an employer. This is something I'm going to email to each of you today after the workshop. So each of you will get this little gift. So really, employers speak when we actually show that we understand what's important to the employer. That's what gets us heard, and that's what gets us hired. So as we see now in this illustration, we see the two circles intertwining. Now we see some effective communication happening. And on the left side, we can see how this applicant said, I have used a variety of kitchen equipment in fry station, broil station, and pantry stations. And on the right side, we see that the employer does value knowledge of kitchen equipment. Remember those job postings we just took a look at? That's what we're pulling from. So if you see on the left side, we are saying that we've developed a team spirit attitude, and we're able to do that during service times of high volume. We help our teammates out. We can see on the right side, that second bullet point is saying they want someone who's a team player. On the left side, we see, hey, this applicant mentions that they're consistent with their knife skills. Very good, because on the right side, what's important to that employer is that consistency in the execution of their menu items, how that dish is prepared, how it's plated, all of that. So on the left side, we see an applicant highlighting that they've used the knife skills to produce consistency and accuracy and plating presentation. That's very good because that's what employers need. Remember, customers want accuracy and consistency. That's what keeps bringing customers back, guests back, and that's important. And we see that here, there's that communication connection. It doesn't matter on the left-hand side, if you notice, we haven't put down how long this applicant has been in the industry. We don't know. But everything that this applicant has focused on is what they can do. So it doesn't matter how long you've been in the industry. It doesn't matter if you're just new to the industry or career changer. It doesn't matter as long as you get those basics down, because that's what's important to the employer. And we're pulling from that job posting, and we see that. That's what we're executing on. Awesome. Now, does anybody have any burning questions, or I was going to say, do you have any answers for me? I'm supposed to have the answers, but do you have any questions for me? Anything that I can answer for you? Okay, awesome. I take that you guys are pretty good to go and I'm excited for you guys. I hope you guys are. I want you to be fired up and ready for this because it's so fun talking to businesses and doing your site visits. So here, basically, I want to let you know that Career Services is here to assist you. Each of you is assigned to a Career Services representative like myself, and we're here to help you with goal setting, looking at your career, really what you want to do with your certificate. This is all about you. It's not about us or where we want you to be at all. This is all about you and where you want to be. That's what's going to drive your success, is that you get to where you want to be. We can provide you with the industry overview, enhance your resume, create a sample portfolio for you. So we can create a whole customized marketing portfolio just for you. And we want to do that for each of you. I think my recommendation is no one should graduate without it. No one should be job seeking without a marketing portfolio, because you want to be able to put a professional and polished presentation forward when you're job seeking. Just like when you're going to provide a dish for a customer, it's like you wouldn't do it, sloppy or anything like that, or haphazard or rush. You wouldn't do that. And it's the same thing when you present yourself to employers. You want to present yourself in a polished and professional way. You took the time to do it. You weren't rushed to do it. You didn't do it because it was a homework assignment. You're not just checking off the box to do it. You did it with time and care. And so employers notice these things, so we can help you get that customized marketing portfolio for yourself and help it work for you. We can give you some really good job coaching, interview coaching, and advice, and really some employment support when you're out there. So we want to be able to help you, and we can help find employers that are hiring in your area and talk to you about the options that you have. So all you need to do is take down the email here. It's careerservices@escoffier.edu. And if you'd like a one-on-one with your career service representative, we're happy to help you and happy to do a one-on-one with you to talk just about your situation and how we can help you and talk through the options for you on what will really work in your area. So take that down so that we can get you connected to your career services representative. So I want to thank you all for joining me today, and I really wish you the best of luck and success when it comes to going through school, and thank you for all your hard work and your dedication to the industry. We truly appreciate that, and we're rooting for each and every one of you. So thank you so much.